Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for joining us for the 22nd fortnightly session organized by Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform. I, Aniket Arora, on behalf of Ms. Arika Mathur, convener, CAMP, will moderate this session today. Today, we'll have with us Ms. Ankita Joshi, consultant, clinical psychologist, Mr. Ashish Kumar Mittal, project director of CAMP, and Mr. Amit Kumar Shukla, head capacity building group, and my fellow champion. I welcome you all. Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform is an initiative and knowledge alliance of CSIR NISPA, National Institute of Science, Communication and Policy Research, Ministry of Science and Technology with industrial partner MS NCPL, NISA Communication Private Limited. CAMP believes every student is blessed with a core talent and aims to bring out the best in them through this platform. So, CAMP is back with its 22nd fortnightly knowledge sharing session of the year 2022 on how to identify and deal with exam stress. Well, exam stress is a very real thing for students of all ages and can have a significantly negative effect on academic performance if not addressed. Identifying and dealing with exam stress is important because it can help reduce anxiety, increase motivation and focus, and even improve test scores. It can also help to create a healthy balance between school and other areas of life. Taking the time to identify the sources of stress and develop strategies to cope with it can go a long way towards helping students manage their stress levels and perform better on exam. Now, with this workshop, we will try to understand how you can identify and deal with exam stress. But before I invite our speaker, I would like to inform you that the results of Camp NASTA exam have been out. On our social media pages, you can also check the names of the national, state, and district level toppers for the NASTA exam. Moreover, I would like to announce that the registration for NASTA 2023 are open. You can register from our website at www.camp.res.in. Now, without any delay, I would like to now invite Ms. Ankita Joshi, who is a consultant clinical psychologist. She works majorly with individuals experiencing anxiety, depression, work stress, academic stress, post-traumatic stress disorder, panic, phobia, obsessive compulsive disorder. So today, let's have a session with her on how to identify and deal with exam stress. Now I request Ms. Ankita to address the gathering.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hi. I hope that you can all see me and hear me.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
great. Aniket already told us, we are here to talk about exam stress. Now, I know that all of us experience exam stress, but not a lot of us talk about. So here we are having this conversation, trying to identify and understand what exam stress is. Okay. So before we start off, I want you to know the contents of what we're going to be talking about. We're obviously going to try and understand what exam stress means, how we can identify it. There's a quick questionnaire that I would really like all of you to fill up and tell me the answers. Discuss if you want to later. Okay. Then we'll talk about understanding the signs that you can identify within yourself to tell whether or not you're stressed. And then we'll talk about how you can overcome that kind of stress. So let's try and understand what exam stress is. So basically, any physical, emotional, or cognitive. When I say cognitive, I mean thinking. Are you getting negative thoughts? So any physical, emotional, or negative thoughts that you start experiencing because of the pressure of an upcoming exam or academics is basically what we call exam stress. Okay. Exam stress can vary in intensity and duration. And I know that sounds so boring, but intensity simply means strength and duration simply means time. So how intensely or how strongly are you feeling not good or stressed? And for how long have you been feeling stressed? So these are the areas that we will usually focus on when we're talking about identifying exam stress. It can lead to a lot of difficult situations. You might become more irritable than before. You might start experiencing more fear than before. You might start having negative thoughts like, oh my God, What if I fail? What if I don't get good marks? What are my parents going to say? What am I going to do after that? What if I become nothing in life? Thoughts like that. Okay. So let's talk about identifying. Now, here are a few questions that I'm going to ask you, and I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 4. Okay. And I want you to note it down somewhere. And I'm going to do this with you. Okay. So that at the end of the day, we can sort of, compare our scores. So I want you to take a piece of pen and paper before we start. Okay. And write down your score over there. Okay. How often do you feel anxious or worried when we are talking about, exam? When you think of exams, how often do you feel anxious or worried? Let's say never. I never feel worried when I think of exams. I sometimes, I feel stressed, but it's rarely. Sometimes, not a lot, not too little. Often, I feel it a lot. Always, all the time. That is number 4. So on the basis of this, I want you to rate yourself. I've written the score in the section. Let's just say I have an exam coming up and I haven't really studied anything about it. And I'm feeling really stressed. So every few days or every few hours, I'll keep thinking, oh my God, I haven't studied. Oh my God, what is going to happen? So let me put myself in often. I want you to put your own score without copying mine and let's see where you get at. Okay. So I'm going to give myself a 3. Moving on. How often do you experience physical symptoms like headaches or muscle tension? Basically, when you get stressed, there's a lot of things happening. You might experience headaches. You might experience issues with your stomach. A lot of times when you're really stressed, you want to go to the washroom. That's something that's very common. It used to happen to me all the time. Does that happen to you all too? So if something like this happens to you, I want you to rate yourself. Never. No, it doesn't happen to me. Rarely, like I told you before. Sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. Often more, it happens to me more than, my friend. Almost always it happens to me all the time. Whenever I'm thinking about exams, I feel like, something's happening to me. I start getting a headache. I start feeling dizzy. I start feeling like there's a tummy ache and I need to go to the washroom. Things like that. Okay. Here, I am still going to give myself often. Let's say I feel that way often whenever I think about exams. Okay. The next question is, how often do you have trouble sleeping? Can you sleep on time at night? Or are you laying awake in bed thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Oh my God, I'm so worried. Okay. So again, your options are never, rarely, sometimes, often, and almost always. Here, I feel like I can't sleep at all because I keep worrying. So I'm just going to give myself 4. This is my score. I want you to give yourself your own score, okay? And then in the chat box, we can talk about it. I want all of you to do this with me. Okay. How often do I feel overwhelmed or stressed out? This is straightforward. How often do you, feel overwhelmed? Like, oh my God, I don't want to do anything. I just feel so overburdened. I feel like I can't do anything at all. Like you don't want to do anything. It's so stressful that you don't feel like doing anything. You never feel this way. You rarely feel this way. You sometimes feel this way. You feel this way often or almost always. Here, I feel like I'm going to give myself 2 points. Okay. How often do you feel irritable or easily upset? Because of stress, a lot of times when there are other things that are supposed to get our attention. For example, my mom telling me that I need to help her with a chore gets me really angry because I'm so worried she doesn't even understand. She doesn't even understand. I'm so worried I haven't gotten anything done. So when she makes tiny requests, I end up being so angry. Then I feel bad about it later. But in that moment, I get very irritated. So if this is happening to you, I want you to again rate yourself. It never happens to you. It rarely happens to you. It happens sometimes. It happens often. And it happens almost always. To me, I feel like this happens sometimes. So again, I'm going to give myself 2. Okay. Okay. Now, I hope that all of you have finished, your scoring. And I want you all to add the scores up and tell me. Tell me how did you do? Tell me what your score is. I hope you all did it with me. You can tell me in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Wow. Swati, that's great. You got a 0 score. That's amazing. Okay. Okay. Let me see what my score is. My score is 14. So what does that say about me? If you want, you can take a screenshot of this and then, take your time, calculate your scores. So my score is 14. So I fall in this category. I'm experiencing moderate to high level of stress. Okay. So this is how you can identify. Okay. Cree has written that he or she, I don't know, experience, scored 9. So 9 is basically, you are experiencing moderate amount of stress. Okay. Mild to moderate. Now, through this activity, I hope you've been able to, identify how much stress you have. Have you all done it? I hope you all have done it. Okay, great. Great. I got a thumbs up. Great. Great. Chalo. Then in that case, let us move on other ways to identify and tell exactly if we are feeling stressed. Okay. Okay, great. First sign is that you procrastinate. You know that you have to do things, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. I know I have to submit this tomorrow, but I just don't want to do it. I want to play with my friends instead. I don't know. I don't know. I know that I should do it. I know if I don't finish my work, my teacher will scold me and my mom will probably get upset. And my dad will also probably get upset. But still, I don't want to do it. I'd rather play. Okay. So if this is happening to you, I want you to make a note of it. Okay. What will happen is obviously if you don't study, if you don't complete your tasks, it's going to not help you score good marks. So this is something you need to make a note of. Avoidance. Now, are you avoiding doing things? I just don't know this maths teacher. She's so strict. I don't want to go to the class. It used to happen to me all the time. My maths teacher was so strict that I did not want to go to class. But what happens when I didn't go to class? I scored really bad marks. And that doesn't help, right? I just get more stressed. I get more stressed and then I score badly. Okay. Okay, great. Chal. Next is social withdrawal. I know it sounds complicated, but basically you don't feel like talking to your friends. You don't like want to tell your family what's going on. And again, if someone asks you what happened, you feel really upset to talk about it because there is a lot that happened. How can you tell them? And if you told them that, I did not finish my assignment because I was too stressed or I didn't, attend that class, they're not going to listen to you. You're probably just going to get a thrashing there, which is why you don't even feel like talking to anybody. So you start feeling lonely. I'm so alone. Nobody understands. Nobody's understanding what I'm going through. The next thing is that you don't feel like eating a lot or you've been eating a lot. Both things can happen. That you suddenly start eating a lot. You're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. Let me get that chocolate. Let me just eat this one pizza. It feels so good. Or maybe you don't feel like eating only. You're like, oh my God, I have this exam. Oh my God, I can't eat anything. I'm so stressed. Okay. Or either you sleep a lot, you sleep for like 12 hours, and your mom's like, what happened, beta? Why are you not waking up on time? Or otherwise, you're not able to sleep only. You're just sitting in bed thinking, oh my God, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? What is going to happen? Okay. So all of these things can happen to you. But obviously, you can also overcome it. Okay. So we're now going to be talking about how you can overcome it. And this might sound a little more difficult, but it's really not. Okay. Okay. The first point is get organized. Okay. I know your parents tell you all the time, but it's the way to go. If you write down the things that you need to get done and put a time that you think you can do it by. For example, I need to finish this one chapter, but it's too long. So I will break it into 4 parts and do it in this week. Every day I'll read only 2 pages, not lot, just 2. That's it. Okay. So you can break it down into tiny bits. Example for imagine, your first exam is your history exam, but you're studying chemistry. Is that going to help you? It's not going to help you, right? Yeah, it's not going to help you. So you also need to prioritize. What is the most important thing that needs to be done right now? First thing that I need to. My first exam, I need to prepare for my first exam. So make a plan. Okay. It's okay if you can't stick to it, at least make it. Start there. Okay. It's always a good idea to make a plan. Imagine, your mom and dad said, okay, let's go out today. But if you ask them, where are we going? They said, we don't know. We are just going out. Is that going to help you? If you plan, maybe you could go to your favorite restaurant, or maybe you could go and play bowling, right? Maybe you could, go and play those, games, go on rides or something if you plan. But if you don't plan, what if you end up nowhere and just keep walking and get really tired and come home? It's sort of like that. Okay. When you organize, when you plan, this much only I have to do. After that, I can just play. Imagine this, okay? You finished the homework because you planned everything. You said, you know what, I'll come back from school, I'll eat my food, okay? Then 1 hour, I'll finish my homework because I remember everything that I have done in school. Quickly, I'll finish it and then I'll play. I won't listen to anybody. Then what if your mom comes and says, hey, you didn't even do your homework, what are you doing? And then you open your book and show it to her. Look, I finished. Obviously, if you finish doing your work, will your mom scold you and say, do more work? Obviously not. Right? Make sense? So get a plan. Make a plan, okay? Okay. Now this one is a little, easy. It's very easy. Okay. When you feel really stressed, for example, you're not being able to sleep and you're getting really angry, in the moment that you're getting very angry, what you can start doing is, and this is a technique, okay? I'm telling you a scientific technique. It's a secret. Okay. Okay. So what you need to do is when you're getting really anxious, okay? Very anxious, very worried. What you need to do is just breathe in. Count 4 in your head, 1, 2, 3, 4 when you breathe in, and hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Again, I'm telling you. So what happens is when we get stressed now, our heart rate becomes really quick. Okay. Now breathing becomes really quick. Have you experienced that? Has anybody experienced that in the past? Okay. Okay. So what happens is when we breathe this way, it will help the heart rate go down and everything will become calm in your body. Okay. So what happens is the brain is telling your body there's something serious happening. So your body reacts, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? So this is a quick trick to help you relax your body. Okay. Breathe in, hold it, and let it out. Okay. And count these numbers in your head. Okay. I hope you'll practice this. Exercise regularly. And I know. These are all things your mom, dad tell you. But I'll tell you what happens. When you exercise, there are certain hormones that are released in your brain, okay, that make you feel happy. That gives you the strength to fight stressful situations. Have you ever noticed that when you wake up, go for a jog in the morning or do some sort of physical activity, you feel really good for the rest of the day? It's true. Whenever you're feeling really sad, really upset, you can start working out. You can start going for a run. And I know that you can't do it everywhere, obviously. But you can just run in the spot, do whatever helps you. Maybe you can do some skipping, any physical activity, any exercise. It can be yoga, it can be anything that you can, just look up. Silly activities that physical activities. Maybe lay in bed and just kick and punch. That's also a great physical activity. Okay. Okay. So next time you're feeling stressed, I want you to do this. Okay. And tell me later if it worked or not. Okay. The next thing you can do is talk to friends and family. What are they going to do? Worst case scenario, they're going to say, oh, you didn't even do this. You didn't even do this, but they'll help you out, right? Later. Isn't it okay to listen to some bad stuff if you can help you out later? And what if they don't even say bad things to you? What if you go to your friend and say, hey, you know what? I think I was supposed to finish this homework, but I didn't finish my homework. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to help you out, right? Your friend's not going to say, you didn't do your problem. What do I do? No. Your friend is going to help you out, right? Imagine you have to submit a project tomorrow. Okay. And at night you told your mom, I didn't do, I had to, I couldn't finish, I couldn't understand, so I didn't do. What will your mom say? Say, huh, go like that. Obviously not. She'll help you, right? She'll help you, right? So parents will always help you. So it's okay to tell them your problem. If you are having an issue, you don't have to feel guilty about not understanding. Okay. Keep asking till you understand. Even if they get upset, it's okay. At least you'll understand. No, in the end, it won't be so difficult. Right? Okay. Now, this is the most important thing. You need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure that you're eating on time, you're waking up on time, you're doing everything on time. Because when you don't, the delays keep happening. For example, let's just say you didn't take care. You didn't have breakfast. Okay, your mom said, why are you not eating beta? But you didn't feel like eating. So you said, no, I will. Then you went to school and then you felt hungry, but the class is going on and you can't eat. Now your head is aching. You can't even understand what the teacher's telling you. Isn't it a good idea to just eat a little bit? So you need to take care of yourself. Make sure that you're getting good enough sleep. And if you don't sleep, imagine again. You're just feeling sleepy in school. And mom is teaching you and you're like, that's not a good idea, right? So take care of yourself. I know that it sounds like a no big deal, but these tiny things help a lot in taking care of yourself. Okay. So what you need to do is make sure you're waking up on time, getting good exercise, make sure that you're eating well, doing all of your work, coming back home, taking some rest, and again, making sure that you're sleeping on time at night. Okay. This is something that you need to do. Can you do it? Can you all do it? Is it difficult? It's not difficult, right? Great, great. Chalo. The next thing you can do is set realistic goals. And I'll tell you what. I know that it sounds silly, ma'am. Obviously, we are setting goals and we know we can do, but that's not true. That's not true. A lot of times, you think that, I'll be able to do all of it, but at the end, you're not able to do it. So my strategy is to only decide 60% of what I can do. For example, like I said, I have to finish one chapter, okay? And maybe if I study hard enough today itself, I can finish the whole chapter. I'm not going to do that. I'll break it down into tiny, tiny, tiny bits and do it because I don't want to live in the stress. Oh my God, I was supposed to finish one chapter today. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Then it's going to get delayed again. I'll just give myself enough time. Okay. But you need to start planning before the exams, that is. If you plan a few days before the exams, obviously you're going to be very stressed. So you need to start planning at least 1 or 2 months before the exam. And this is the least, my idea, or I feel like the best idea is when the school starts. Why don't you just start planning and learning everything that ma'am is telling you? So you won't have to stress at all. You can think about it. The people who didn't study on time, they're going to be sitting at home and studying, and you can go out and play because you've already studied. All of your friends one night before the exams, they can't go out with their parents because they're worried, oh my God, I haven't finished this, I haven't finished this. But then you'll be able to go out, no? You'll be able to enjoy, right? Okay, great. So I hope with this session, I was able to, help you understand what was exam stress, how you can identify and how you can overcome. If you have any questions, I'd be really happy to, answer any of those. Are there any questions from you?
I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, like I said, to deal with stress, I'm sure these were amazing tips. But I would say, like, in terms of even mental health, if you can take a step further, not just stress, like because I'm a psychologist and consultant psychologist. So I think it would be a right thing to ask you that just a general thing, like not just for exam. How would you say, like, to communicate with someone? Like I'm sure we have a lot of students from 5th to 12th, and can you just help them communicate, like express that they are, having a situation, like if they are having some issue with stress, if they're having any other issue, so how to express themselves?
Okay, I'll tell you what. even when it comes to exam stress or in general, we don't tell our loved ones that we are worried or we are going through something difficult. Simply because, there's a lot of things going on in our mind. There are a lot of thoughts that are going on in our mind. For example, if I scored badly in my class, I will be scared to tell my mom. Obviously, I'll have to tell her later, but I'll be scared because there are going to be a lot of thoughts going on in my head. I'll be thinking, oh, what if she gets angry at me? Oh, what if this happens? Oh, what if that happens? Oh, I'm such a bad person. Oh, how can I do this? All of these things. That is the thing that is stopping you from doing what you need to do. Okay. So when all of these things come into your head, you start behaving in a different way than you usually would, or how you would expect your friend to behave. Let's just say your friend scored really badly and he's very upset. Okay. And you can see that he's very upset. What are you going to do about this? What would you advise your friend to do? Aniket, why don't you tell? If you saw that your friend scored really badly, what would you expect or advise your friend?
So if my friend scored very badly,
Yeah,
and
let's just say he did not score well. He
right,
studied really hard, but he
mhm,
did not score well. And he's feeling really sad.
I think it
What
depends.
advice would you give your friend?
It would also depend on what exam he kind of flunked at. So if it depends. Like
Mhm.
he prepared
It's
well.
a maths exam. Let's just say,
Prepared
okay,
well.
let me switch the situation. Wait, let's
Mhm,
just say that you gave a maths exam and you tried really hard and you prepared really well for it, but you couldn't get as good marks as you thought you could. What are you
mhm.
going to think about it? Let's just say when you're not being positive and you're not being healthy, what are you going to think about?
So like if I'm the one who's taking the exam
Right. Yeah.
and I'm not doing as I
Let's
expected,
just start there.
that would okay.
What are you going to think? You're going to feel guilty, right?
Yeah, I would think unhealthy. I'll have some negative thoughts in my mind. Okay, like that can, like from one subject, I'm not good in maths. That can lead to, I'm not good in this. I'm not good at everything. That can take anywhere from one point to another. That's just because you're thinking
Exactly.
negative
You're
and
going
it's
to feel really
unhealthy.
sad, right? You're
Right,
going to feel really sad, right?
right.
Right. But will you share it with anybody? Let's just say you go home and your mom's really upset.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why didn't you get good marks? You studied so hard. Why didn't you get? Will you tell her?
Well, fortunately, my mom is not like that. But even if
If.
right. So if my mom, she's upset about it, and I would kind of, take it
Mm,
because I'm already feeling negative, and then this comes up that, she's upset at me. That pushes
mm,
more. That can, that makes you more isolated. So, like I'm just gonna go into my room,
mm,
crash the door, and just
mm,
lie down until I am in the mind. I have that mindset, think properly. That is the general thing that happens.
mm,
But
mm.
right. So
See, when you are emotional, when you are sad, it becomes
right,
very difficult for you to think straight.
right.
Right. Now let's imagine the same thing happened to your friend.
Mhm.
What are you going to tell your friend?
Right, because in that situation now I'll be in a good state of mind because that didn't happen with me. So I'll be, better be
Exactly.
able to guide him. Okay, it's
Yeah.
just one exam.
Mm,
It doesn't matter. It's just a piece of paper that doesn't define your future. And then there will be, okay,
exactly.
you
And
have
these are
another
things
chance.
you know, right? These are
Right,
things you know for yourself, right? But you won't be able to
exactly,
tell yourself when you are in a bad space.
exactly.
So what you can do
Hmm.
is wait.
Okay.
Okay. And I know that it sounds really silly, but you
Mhm.
need to take some time and write down, maybe journal how you feel. Because a lot of times, when bad things are happening with us, we can't say nice things to ourselves. Imagine if you told your friend the things that you were thinking to yourself, would he be your friend?
Right.
For example, oh, you're so silly. You didn't do well. You made such a mistake. Would you still be friends with that person who's saying these things to you?
I doubt. Definitely not.
Definitely not, right?
Right.
So what you need to do is tell yourself these things. Take
Right.
some time when you're feeling like you're in a good headspace. You're feeling like, okay, now I'm not sad anymore about what happened. You can tell yourself, hey, it's okay. It's not just the first thing that's going on. It's not true. Like, Obviously, I couldn't score well in this exam, but that doesn't mean that I can't score well in any exam. It's not like I'm not good enough. Okay. Make sense?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Joshi. I think that this has been a wonderful session. So I'm sure that the students have learned great many things from this session and can, achieve their best during their next examinations or even the upcoming examination. Like I'm sure this is the month of March. They must be giving exams now by now also. So I think let's see if we have any questions from our young audience. So I'll just say to the students that if you have any question, please raise your hand and we'll pick you one by one and you can ask your question directly. So let's see, please, can you raise your hands if you have any question? Because today we have a psychologist with us, you can also ask anything else you might want to discuss, not just related to exam stress. Please feel free to ask your question if you have any, or you can write it down in the chat box. Okay, I received a question from Abhishek. And he wants to know that how to manage time before exam, like how to
Okay.
manage time.
Okay. Okay. Great. That is a great question. So how you manage time is entirely going to be dependent on what is the most important thing that needs to be done, right? Okay. For example, like I said, let's just say you have 5 exams lined up. You are going to manage, what you're going to do based on what is most important to you. So I'm not saying leave or don't do things that you enjoy doing. For example, you can manage your schedule in such a way that you wake up, you work out a little, eat your breakfast, go to school, come back, and then sit down with the subject that is most important, that needs to be done right now. Okay. And break it down into tiny, tiny, tiny doable parts. I'm not saying cut out the things that you enjoy, just minimize them. Use the tiniest portion that you can to do things that you actually love. Okay. So I'm not saying that, stop doing things that you enjoy, stop going out, stop playing with friends. No. But then you have to be really mindful of what is more important to you, what is more, is required for you to do. And I know that it's not the easiest thing to do because you think, 5 minutes, what does it matter? So this is what you're going to do. You're going to make a routine, a timetable, identify the things that need to be done right now. For example, if there are 5 chapters that you need to finish or 5 subjects that you need to finish, I want you to write that down on one side, break them down into tiny bits that you know that you can finish in a day. Okay. And then in your schedule, manage time in such a way that makes you not feel hopeless. So what we do a lot of times is when we manage our schedule, no, we don't give ourselves enough break. We overwhelm ourselves. We put down activities one after the another, and our brain needs time. Okay. So manage your schedule in such a way that you are not feeling scared of it, but you think this is something that I can achieve. Okay. Give yourself time for everything, but limit that time. Okay. Don't give yourself too much time to play. Don't give yourself too much time to eat. Don't give yourself too much time to study also. But I would strictly recommend you to study at least 4 hours every day. Okay. Take time out and study 4 hours every day. It doesn't have to go back to back 4 hours. You can take a 10-minute break between these. You can, go around, have a conversation with everybody in the house. Maybe, see what your parents allow you. If your parents allow you to sit on the phone, maybe you can sit on the phone for 5 minutes and just lay in the bed for the next 5 minutes or just lay down for the entire 10 minutes. Okay. So give yourself tiny breaks. Manage your time according to your routine, include all the good things, but also study it. Does that answer your question?
I think that pretty much does. Not getting any response from, I think, yes, she has raised her hand, that a thumbs up.
Okay.
So yes, perfect. If you have any question, please can you raise your hand and let us know? Okay, we have received one question and from Ria. She wants to know how to study better in group.
Oh, that's a very interesting question. I'll tell you what, and this is a brilliant idea. So studying in a group motivates not just one person, but the entire group. Okay. What I want you all to do is, and it's going to be really quick. Okay. What I want you all to do is break down the chapters into tiny bits again and select each bit that all of you feel comfortable with. For example, Aniket and I are studying in a group. Okay. And the chapter has two parts. For example, what are the signs of stress, and I will study how to overcome. So Aniket studies what are the signs of stress, and I will study how to overcome it. Okay. And both of us are going to read different parts. Okay. What we're going to do when we meet next is we're going to exchange that information. I will teach Aniket how to overcome his stress, and he will teach how, what are the signs of stress. So we tell each other, or we exchange information. We teach each other. Okay. Because the best way to learn is to teach. So teach your friend and then go home or take a break, take a 5-10 minutes break, and then study the entire thing that your friend has taught you. Okay. You can ask them questions. They can ask you questions. This way, both of you, learn tiny things that you don't understand. You will become more aware of the questions that can come up. Make sense?
We have one more question. This is from Samir Raj. He wants to know
Okay.
that, ma'am, can you please let me know that during exam, when I study, I prepare very good for the exam, but then when I go for the paper, I go blank. I think he wants to know that he prepares very well, but during the exam, he goes blank.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Mm.
Do you want me to tell you how to help you, or what is going on with you, or both?
I think we
I'm
can do
just going to
both.
tell you both.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay. Okay. So what is happening is basically, you are thinking a lot. When you think a lot, you know what happens. And when you're thinking negative stuff, what happens is that our brain doesn't understand if, the stress is coming from something like a lion or tiger standing in front of us, or just the thought of, oh my God, going to fail my exam. Okay. So body reacts very, like abruptly to stress. It's either nothing or all. Okay. When that happens, when the all reaction comes, it's when you're preparing to fight. Okay. So what happens is your mind goes blank and your body starts having different responses. So if you're someone who gets blank, I hope that you're relating to what I'm going to say next. What might happen is that your heart might start beating really fast. You might feel, sweaty palms, but they're cold and sweaty. So these things might happen to you. You might not be able to breathe well as you were being able to breathe before. So these things happen. This is again happening just because you're worried. Okay. It's not a serious thing. It's not a permanent thing. All you need to do is remember to breathe. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to switch back to the slide where I talked about breathing. You can take a screenshot of this and make sure that you're breathing this way. Or I'm going to teach you another technique that you can do in that moment. Okay. Before your exam, I want you to take 5 minutes, just sit in a place, breathe for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and let go for 6 counts. So 1, 2, 3 for your breathing in, 1, 2, 3 for your holding it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're letting it go. Okay. The next thing that you can do is look around the room and start naming things randomly. For example, Aniket, will you be my volunteer for this activity?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Can you name 5 things that you might be able to see around you right now?
Okay, I see my webcam, I see my chair and a laptop, my cell phone, and
Okay.
tube light.
Okay, great. Can you tell me 5 colors that you might be able to see around you, right?
Brown, black, blue, white, yellow, red.
Great. Okay. Can you tell me 5 of your favorite movies?
Okay. Three Idiots, X-Men the Wolverine, Batman Dark
Okay.
Knight,
Uh-huh.
and Deadpool.
Okay.
And the last one I'll go with Face Off.
Okay, great. Can you tell me 5 flowers that you can think of.
Sunflower, rose, lily, hibiscus,
Sunflower
jasmine.
rose. Okay, that's great. Okay. Aniket,
Mhm.
are you going to be able to tell me what we were talking about before this? Or have we forgotten?
I did forget actually.
See, this is a great distraction technique. What you can do is start with, asking yourself the things and colors that you can see around you. You can move on to thinking about random things such as flowers, vegetables, movies, songs, actors, actresses, anything. It'll
Right.
distract you from all those overwhelming thoughts and you'll be able to focus on what is going on with you right now. Okay,
Perfect. Perfect.
great.
So this is something that they
So this
can
is
do
how,
before the exam.
yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
So, what happens is because I'm overthinking, I
Right.
will start having thoughts like, oh my God, what if I don't know anything? What if I'm not going to be able to do this? What you can do when you're feeling this overwhelmed is just take a seat, take a deep breath. Okay. And if that doesn't help you, just start doing this activity that I told you. After
Mhm.
a while, what is going to happen is that you're going to not experience that stress response anymore. You're not going to be as anxious anymore. And now, when you read the questions, it might take a while, but you know that it's going to come. Your answer is going to come to you. Okay.
So the stress
Because your
would
brain
not
now
be the
has,
memory.
can you repeat that?
So that the stressful response would not be blocking your memory. You'll be open and you will be able
Yeah,
to recollect.
exactly.
Right.
Your
Right.
brain will have more space to think about the things that you studied instead of thinking, oh my God, what is going to happen? Oh my God, what is going to happen?
Perfect. Perfect. Wow, this has been, an amazing session. Let me see if we have any other questions. Okay. Do you have any other question? Please feel free to ask. You can raise your hand and ask your question or type in the chat box also. Or I think you can write your question to me at aniket@camp.res.in and I'll share it with Ankita and we can get back with the answer. So thank you so much, Ankita, for this wonderful session. And
Thank you so much, Anik.
okay, our next session will be on 30th March at 4 p.m. And in this session, you will be learning cool tricks about Vedic maths from Master Avi Sharma, also known as the Wonder Boy of India. So kindly note the day and time. Kindly note the day and time to participate in this planned workshop. If you are a registered member, get the participation link under your student login 2 days before the upcoming workshop. And also on 31st March at 4 p.m., we will be having a 9th episode of the Achievers series. In this episode, we will be interacting with Mr. Sohadya Dey, who is a young author and like all our achievers, the recipient of the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar. So do check out the promo video on our social media to know more about this episode. So see you on the workshop and Achievers interactive session. Thank you everyone for being a wonderful audience and Ms. Ankita for taking out the time to be a part of this wonderful session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And don't forget to don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our social media channels for the latest updates and announcements. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Ankita. Bye-bye.